Question 8, Honourable Member Mr Shimmins.
Thank you, Mr President. I'd like to ask the Minister for Health and Social Care what body oversees the Independent Board for Health Service Complaints.
Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr President. As prescribed in statute, the National Health Service Independent Review Body Regulations 2004 is the statute basis of the Independent Review Body, and its powers are contained within the NHS Complaints Regulations 2004. Outside of those regulations, the Department has no ability to either instruct nor influence the Independent Review Body. Aside from members of the Independent Review Body having to adhere to financial regulations, I can say to honourable members that the original legal framework was intended to provide complete independence from the Department.
Supplementary, Mr Shimmins.
Thank you, Mr President. Just for clarity, can the Minister confirm that there is nobody which oversees the IRB? And has his department taken legal advice on this issue? And if so, will he publish this?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr President. I'm not sure the Department has taken legal advice on that, but I will check, and if there is, then we'll see what we can do in relation to circulation, but I will have to check on that. In relation to oversight, as I've said, the Department, the regulations are quite clear. The Department has no oversight over the IRB. It is laid out quite clearly via the regulations. So, for instance, Regulation 11 lays out how a complainant who's not satisfied with the result of a complaint can request the IRB to consider the complaint, and Regulations 12 to 16 deal with the handling, investigation, the panels and reporting of decisions made by the IRB and how they're dealt with. We don't have any powers within DHSC to instruct the IRB to do anything different.
Supplementary, Mr Thomas.
Thank you, Mr President. Does the Minister not agree then that it would be excellent to put the health and care independent review bodies under the same governance and management arrangements as the Tynwald Commissioner for Administration, for that reason just outlined in the previous answer and many others, as is in government's programme for 4 years now? Many bigger countries than the Isle of Man have done just that in recent decades to make sure that the independent review bodies become more, professional in their approach.
Minister.
Thank you, Mr President. I refer the Honourable Member to Douglas Central to my answer to the previous question. Well, let's do one thing at a time.
Honourable Member Dr Allenson.
Thank you, Mr President. Would the Minister agree with me that, by definition, an independent board has to be independent and not subject to oversight either by his department or by government? Thank you.
Hear, hear.
Minister.
Thank you, Mr President. I don't want to say that the clue is in the name, but I think Dr Allison has made the point for me.
Final supplementary, Mr Shimmins.
Thank you, Mr President. It's been a very interesting exchange of questions. In terms of the IRB, some constituents actually question its independence because it was established and is funded by the Department of Health. Would the Minister actually agree it would be better to have the arrangements changed to a more modern way as proposed by Mr Thomas?
Rashford.
Thank you, Mr President. Well, like I say, the entire process is under review anyway, particularly in the run-up to the National Health and Care Services Reform Bill in 2021, and I look forward to members making those suggestions as part of the consultation on that bill. In relation to the funding, I do need to make the point that although the funding for the IRB actually comes from the Department, that is laid down that we must fund them and we must pay their expenses, but again, we have no control over them.